Hello everybody, this is Make It Better, and today we're doing What If Deku Was a Swordsman Part 7. Last time we left off was Zuko and Momo right in the room, and let's get into it. Momo, after locking the door, she breathes in, breathes out, and said, Midoriya, is there, can she, Midoriya, would you like to go out on a date with me? Zuko takes this in. Didn't I expect that coming from her? He noticed it, but he didn't really think it would be that true. And he's thinking all of this in his head, and he thinks, "Sure, I'd like to go on a date with you. Should we? And since we already have our numbers, let's do it. End of the week. Sounds good." And Momo kind of like smiling and said, "Yes, yes." And she unlocked the door and ran off, being so embarrassed. Zuko packs up his things, wherever it was left, smells the room. He and he looks to certain directions, pull out his sword, and points it at to one person that was like an inch away from their face. And Zuko pretty much said, "And you, don't say anything to the others, invisible girl." He said her name, but I just can't say it. And she said, yeah. And she also ran off too. She got a little scared of him almost, of him almost killing her. Zuko went home and also. Now the next day, everybody's getting into class and it's going to be about their names. When Zuko comes in, he looks throughout the room and sees Momo. Momo blushes and looks away. Haku, Haku, Hakakure, I hope that's right, also noticed this, and she's just very happy and bubbly like her usual self, and not saying anything. She just wants to see the drama now. Zuko annoys her, Momo, and just smiles. As he's going to take a seat, he walks by someone that seems off for some reason. He doesn't know why, but it just seems off. And he would think about talking to them about it later. But Azawa came in and was telling everybody about something very important. Everybody's very tense in the class, and he say, "Now, it's very important for you all to have hero names. I'm not very an expert to this, so Miss Midnight will come here and approve of your names." And he goes to the outside and put on his sleeping bag and pretty much fell asleep. She comes in and gets everybody ready. Everybody's doing theirs, and Zuko's actually the last one. Momo's kind of, well, Momo's the second to last. She came up and presented creative, explaining it. And as she's walking back, as her midnight told her that that was a very good name, approved, she goes by, walks by to Deku, Midoriya, and Zuko pretty much said, "That's a really good name for you. Very creative." And she kind of blushes and said, thanks. She doesn't know what to say yet. Still a little nervous that she has say that to Midoriya. But yeah, Zuko got up, being the last one. Everybody's very curious on what he's going to name himself. Not like Shoto or Ida. And Zuko showed it to Midnight. Midnight looks at it and said, um, I'm not against it. I'm just, well, you have to get approval from the very branch family. Do you have their approval? Zuko said, yes, I have run it by them before. And she said, okay, show it to the rest of the class. And he does. Everybody don't know what to say about this very name because it seems out of character of Deku, but of Midoriya, but sorry, I just got a habit of calling him Deku. But they are thinking is a good name, and the name is Demon Slayer. Zuko, well, actually, it's the Bakugo chimes in and said, "What the hell? You accepted that name, but won't accept my name? That's totally unfake and fair." And what's with the Demon Slayer? You're not even that good compared to the other Demon Slayers. You'll probably just be a freaking ripoff. And he's blabbering about everything else. Zuko taking it all in and said, "That's my name. Take it or leave it." And he placed the thing down and walked to it. After class, everybody is talking about their names, how creative it was, and how fun it was. But when Tokoyami and Hajiro asked Zuko about the Demon Slayer thing, Zuko said, "Yeah, I'm I'm allowed to choose what my hero name is, and I chose that one. What? Is something wrong with it?" They said, "No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that that name is very strong and important. Are you sure you want to take it? You're like taking on that very clan, and we don't know. Do you know like any stories about them?" Or Zuko said, "Stories? What do you mean?" And they and Tokoyami chimes in saying, "Yeah, like they're like the most strongest people in the world, and could easily be the number one heroes, but some reason just don't do it." We heard we heard like a rumor that they are in the mountains and train and extremely hard, like, and they're saying more stories about them, like I said in the part zero. Zook said, "Oh, ah," taking this all in, internally smiling that they know the Demon Slayers, but don't know that he is in it, and he's just kind of like, "Yeah, um, yeah, I have heard of some of that, but I just like the name, so I just chose it." Momo chimes in and saying, "But um, Zuko." That's her first time ever saying his first name. Zuko turned around and said, "Yes, Momo." Zuko always call everybody by technically their first names. I just don't remember everybody else's. Just Momo's and the other characters. Momo actually chimes in saying, "Yes, but they're like very, they're almost at, well, uh, there's almost as rich as me, but they are very even more famous than my family is." Zuko said, "Yes, I know." And she said, "And well, if you give yourself that name, a bunch of villains will go after you because of your name and try to test you." And Zuko said, "Oh, hmm, I guess I had to defend myself from the public and from the villains. Seems like it was the same thing for being a hero either way." and they're just like confused. Don't know why Izuku's just so calm about picking Demon Slayer as his name. Now, Izuku is pretty much leaving to go for lunch. Everybody else was doing the same thing, and they're still talking about it. And and Zuko actually is looking over to his right and see one person not really eating, just staring at his phone. Zuko can't take it anymore, and he said, "Guys, excuse me, I need to do something." And he just leaves that area, goes right up to him, set right in front of him, and say, "Hey, hey, hey!" And he's snapping his fingers right in front of him. And Ida said, "Yes, yes, Midoriya. How can I help you?" Zuko say, "Well, seems like you were ignoring me. I guess that something really bad has happened to you. Want to talk about it? It might help you with your stress." Ida said, "No, no, it's all fine. I'm just um I'm just focused on my studies." Zuko said, "Oh, okay. Um, so it's gonna be about your brother, isn't it?" Ida stunned and said, it's not about him. It's about schoolwork. And why are you bringing him up? It's just." And he's trying to say something else. And Zuko said, "No, I can tell that you're worried about him. Listen, you'll be all right. I just don't do what you're thinking of doing. Okay?" He gets up and leaves. Ida just taking this in, and he's not gonna listen. He just thinks that Midoriya is just being nosy and doesn't know what he's talking about. Doesn't know how bad it is to lose someone so dear. Now, going back to the past, for Izuku, his father was a pro hero. Not very high, but was still one. And his father told him about one of his friends. And he was like so that his friends died of being a hero. But his father was so mad that he wants to go get revenge. And he was like about to do the very last act of actually killing the very villain. He stops and tells Zuko that everything has a reason. You have no idea what that villain had gone through or that hero have gone through. And the past, Zuko stuck with that and knew if he felt that Ida was planning to do something real bad, but he can't really point it down on who that villain should be. So he did some research. And he's still talking with his friends in the lunch area. After lunch, everybody go back to class and do everything same. Going on, Aizawa pretty much said, "Now everybody sh- we're going to show you your scoring. How many recommendations you have gotten." And he showed it. Midoriya first was the most about. No, it's actually he had the least, the second most. Todoroki had the most. Zuko have half of that. Bakugo has way less, about 100, and everybody else around the 50s and 20s throughout the whole thing. Bakugo's just very pissed, but he can't say anything because he was on third. And he's trying to say something, but someone else said, "Sir, but why is Zuko Midoriya the second, even though he was first in the festival?" and Azawa pretty much explained that no one really knows exactly his quirk, or they don't know that he's quirkless. So it with that very problem, they don't know how to train young Midoriya, and therefore he didn't get that many requests. Everybody somewhat understand, but still don't understand a lot. Everybody else picked their same hero agencies, and for Midoriya, he picks one. Shall I pick him or the other? And he pretty much thinks of this one. He chose it, but he afterwards he actually asked Mr. Aizawa if he could call someone to confirm something. Aizawa allowed it and let him just be out in the hallway. Everybody else was a little confused, but they were still focused on theirs and choosing some things. Zuko actually called his father and asked him where his hero agency that he was a part of at and what was their names. He said the names, and Zuko said, "Great, I chose the right one. Thank you, Fought and Ted," and hang up. For plot reasons, it's going to be over in Hosu City. I believe that's the right name. Not sure yet. Can't say anything. After that, the day ended. In. And this was on a Monday. Zuko and Tokoyami tell guy, sorry, I can't. Like some reason just comes and goes. I hate it too. And they just split off, working on their training. And Tokoyami explained to them both that he just needed to train more with his quirk. And tell guy, hi, Angel, hi, it was an H. Can't say rest. Okay, back to it. And he explained that he's also going to be training with his quirk, getting more better at it with some of his martial arts. Zuko said okay and waved him goodbye. As he was about to leave, Momo actually stopped him and said, "Hey, um, about our date, are we gonna do it since we're gonna do our work study on Friday? Can we?" And Zuko said, "Yeah. I was planning to ask you, like on the phone. How about we do it on Wednesday actually? After school, we can go on our date. Is that if you're cool with that?" She said, "Yeah, yeah." And she got called by her butler, chauffeur, one of those two. And she ran off and saying, "Yeah, Wednesday, got it." And ran off. Zuko is just a little happy and went home. Tuesday went by and Wednesday finally came, and they did their date. Nothing. I'm not gonna put much detail into it because I can't really think of anything. Therefore, I'll just say that Zuko pretty much took her to an arcade, had some fun. After that, they had some dinner. It was something of a middle class restaurant, not very fancy, but not too cheap. After that, they went and talked over at the park, and just talked the night away to the point of around three. So they spent about almost 6 hours. Where it's just it's around 9:30, and he's asked Momo if she wants to take a walk or go on a bus to get back to her home. And she said, "How about a walk, where we can just talk more?" And she's enjoying the talk since Zuko has so much to say about everything that he pretty much is almost the same level as Momo on everything. So she doesn't really have to dumb down on any answers or questions. Up to the point where he's up in front of her gate, and she said, oh, "Since I was, ah, I guess we're here." And she opens the gate. Zuko follows her in to the very front door of her mansion. She opens it. Zuko was turning around, and he heard, "Oh, Zuko, one more thing." And he turns around and said, "Yes." With his eyes closed, kind of like smiling. And he said, "Yes." He felt something soft. It took his breath away. And she came, she backed up and said, thank you for the date. I hope we go out again." "Okay." And she ran back in, closed the door, and pretty much running in. Zuko standing there, a little shocked that he didn't think that she would do that in the first date. But then again, they were technically hanging out for another 2 other weeks, almost a month long. And Zuko said, well, he thinks that, huh, well, I guess that's my first kiss. And he walks off. Now, this will be the end of the video. It was not very entertaining as you might hope, I guess. Not sure if you like this or not. Mostly because my battery is about to be overheating. And it cut off the video and will not save it if it's overheat. Now, let me talk about the comments. One thing, one of you guys pointed out that I can't remember their names. That is true. And therefore, I am also pissed about it. I cannot remember names, I cannot remember titles, I cannot remember dates. I have so much problems with this. It's annoying for me and my family. This is the issue. I'm curious. I'm going to blame it on that. I'm a Aquarius. I don't use that excuse often, but I use it when it's helpful. But yeah, that's why I only do one series at a time, because if I do any other ones, I will get confused and have to rewatch my own videos. And that's kind of like, well, embarrassing for me since I'm still getting used to my voice. If you guys do not understand, just talk, but have your hands right beside your ears, and you will hear your voice in a different way. And with all that, I'm trying to memorize your name since probably you guys will be here for a long time. I'm grateful, I'm just need to remember names. I'm still working on it, but thank you for listening, and the next one will come out when I feel like it. Goodbye.